Chapter 51. I can't sleep. The music drifts up from the open ballroom doors and the hotel fills with chatter as tipsy couples start searching for their rooms. Feeling every bit as clever as an underdone stew, I last a full 10 minutes before I throw on my dressing gown and creep downstairs to the kitchen. Might as well eat something as lie in bed awake and hungry. Low voices in the dining room. Guests shouldn't be in there at night, but I ignore them. Bigger things, as they say, going on in my head. I'm scooping hot chocolate into a big mug of milk when Mum's voice makes me hit the spoon off the rim and spill it all over the counter. Seriously, she says, that's your excuse? You didn't know what you were doing? And you think I did? She's talking to Dad in the empty restaurant. You're saying you didn't receive the photos I sent you? I've just had my daughter in tears because a dad she never knew, who abandoned her, decides to show up right now. She's probably crying herself to sleep. I didn't know it was you, he says, I swear. I mean, how did you even end up here? It's the tail end of nowhere. Oh, I guess I wanted to have time to myself, or maybe I had to make a living to support my daughter, the child we had together when you ran away. Point taken, he says. Drishog is an incredibly magical, beautiful and safe place for a child to grow up in, says Mum. Okay, I get it. The lawn outside is full of couples snogging and dancing, and even one guy throwing up what sounds like 17 hairless aliens. Magical, maybe? Beautiful? Mum's voice starts again with a shake in it. Let me get this straight. I can hear her heels pacing the parquet. You had absolutely no intention of ever looking us up. It didn't seem fair, he says. Abandoning your daughter was. Look, he says, I joined a dating site. Don't ask why, but I did. Impulse. I'm tired of being alone, Molly. You weren't 14 years ago, says Mum. So I've changed. Grown up, she says. Maybe. It sits there, her sarcasm in the room between them. Look, he says, I met an interesting woman online, so I came to see her. If you want me to leave, I will. You really are a coward. She's talking quietly. I have to push the door open ever so slightly more to hear what she says next. Then I wish I hadn't. I rang your office, she says at last. All your obnoxious friends. I rang your home. Let your mother hang up on me, time after time. Oh, and your ex-girlfriend. I did everything in my power to try and find you. Long pause. For her sake, she says, not mine. I can hear her pushing chairs under tables, readying the room for breakfast, keeping physically busy, which is what she does when she's upset and can't get near the sea. For the daughter that, even as it galled me to say it then, was ours. I was fully prepared to say, okay, maybe not now, but when you're ready. If you want to be part of her life, you must have known. Through the door I can make Jeremy out. He's sitting side on to me, head in his hands. He looks up slowly. What did you tell Angie? His voice so low I nearly miss it. Her name's Angelica, says Mum. I can hear him smile. Yeah, it's ridiculous, but there's something about the pause he leaves before he looks up at Mum. Did you tell her I was a hotshot director? I said you were dead. Why did you call yourself Rick? Rick? He hesitates and I hold my breath. What does that matter now, he says. I'd just like to know. So would I. Because he wasn't. Rick was me. The man who corresponded with Grace called himself Frank. That film you loved, he says, Casablanca. So he can think fast too. And lie. Why am I not surprised? Even though you hated sad endings, he says, that was the exception. Didn't you say if you had a boy, Rick was the name you wanted? Guess I was hoping it might be you. He still loves her, or has remembered that he loved her, which is something of the same. Mum hasn't booted him out. She hasn't shouted or said she hates him for abandoning us. She still has feelings for this man. But of course, it all makes sense. I was right, even if I had the wrong reason. My dad is the reason she couldn't move on. Because he wasn't dead. Why don't you go in? Chris, has he been listening too? I don't trust myself to speak, so I shake my head and move away from the door, but the tears come anyway. Come on. He wraps an arm around my shoulders, leading me to the staff room at the back of the kitchen. Let's leave them to it, eh? What you need now is hot chocolate? Exactly. He sits me down on the old sofa with cream, marshmallow, cinnamon chocolate stars, a swirl of caramel dipped into the heart of the steamed milk. Chris makes the best hot chocolates in the world, with real cooking chocolate and cream, all frothed up with marshmallows and in a tall glass, dressed up like a cocktail. Do you like him? He says, placing his creation in front of me alongside a slice of chocolate cake cut into the shape of a small brown whale, and pulling up a chair. Of course. I stir the hot chocolate to combine all the flavours. Normally I taste each part separately, but tonight I'm too mixed up. He's my dad. This is me, Mouse, says Chris. And he really means it. So exactly when I thought I couldn't talk, not about this or anything, suddenly there I am blurting it all out. It's like every school trip, I say. They say, get the permission of both your parents. Father's Day, we have to make cards. It's not like I can miss something I never had, but it'll be handy, you know, for lifts and stuff. My dad. I can't seem to stop. There's this part of me that wants to shut people out, push Mum away, only I can't because I'm all Mum has. Now I'm not, am I? There's this guy called Jeremy who says he's my dad, which means he dumped us both, and I'm meant to care that he's shown up now? And then I'm back in Chris's best of the world bear hug. There might be lots of reasons why he vanished, Mouse. To be continued.